Hello Willowbrook, I hope you're all doing well. I'm really sorry that lots of you couldn't get back to join us after the winter break, but I'm really hoping that you're enjoying your sessions and that you're getting to see your teachers and to see some of your friends and that you're enjoying your online learning. Now, each week I'm going to record a video where I read you a selection of stories that I love, not only because I love them, but also because they have a special message. Now this one is called Because, and it's all about because. So because something happened, something else special happened, and it's all about a little girl's journey and how she became something really special. So I'm going to have a read of this book with you. So what I would like Mr. Allen to do, because he's filming me, is try and get a close-up of the pictures, because the pictures are really beautiful and I'd like you to see them. This chair is very squeaky, I do apologise. So this is called Because, and it's a really, really beautiful book. It's got lots of musical notes you can see, because the person who wrote this book actually also writes music. And at Willowbrook we love music, and as soon as Mr. Pinniger is better, you're going to have lots of music videos from Mr. Pinniger, and you can start to join in with your music assemblies again and have some special music sessions. So let's have a look. Because a man named Ludwig wrote beautiful music, a man named Franz was inspired to create his own. Because many years later, people wanted to hear Franz's beautiful music, they formed an orchestra. Now we know what an orchestra is, don't we? Because we have lots of children at Willowbrook who play instruments, and then they all perform together at our winter recitals, our spring recitals, and that's called an orchestra. Because a man had practiced since he was a kid, he was asked to join. So, practiced lots, worked really hard, he didn't give up, and then he was asked to join the orchestra. Because a woman studied night and day, she too was asked to play. So what does that tell us about our music? If we have an instrument, if we practice it over and over, if we study it, one day we could possibly be asked to play in an orchestra or in a band. Because many others loved and practiced their instruments, there were enough musicians. So this is about an orchestra. You can't be one person in an orchestra. You could play a violin and play beautiful music by yourself. But with many of you together playing different instruments, you can really make some beautiful music. Because someone created a poster about Franz's music, tickets were sold. Because the train conductor stopped the train at the Grand Concert Hall, the orchestra conductor arrived. This is really nice, I think, because this shows us, doesn't it, that lots of different people have lots of different roles that all lead up to something beautiful. Because the orchestra librarian had copies of the score, the orchestra rehearsed. So what's a score? You might think, I don't know, what's that word Miss Storm's using? If I show you at the beginning of the book, can you see all these musical notes? Well, some of you, especially those of you who might be in year 2 or 3, will already have beginning to learn how to read those musical notes, because Mr. Pinniger teaches you that, doesn't he? So by the end, when you leave Willowbrook, you'll be able to read music, and that's what musicians do. That's how they know what notes to play and what sounds to make. So that's them all rehearsing. Can you see them all together? And rehearsing is practicing, isn't it? It's not giving up. And it means when you rehearse, it's okay if you make a mistake, because mistakes mean you're learning. And it just means you don't give up and you try again. That's what we do in our learning, isn't it? It's okay to make a mistake. Because workers checked the lights and the seats and swept the floors, the grand hall was ready. So when we're at school, we've got to think about all the people that are in every day. So before you even open your eyes in the morning, we have all the cleaners that come in and clean your school every day from top to bottom so that it's beautifully clean for you. Because the time had come, the ushers opened the doors. So can you see these two boys here? Oh, I think one might be a boy, one might be a girl. Not sure. They're just people, aren't they? So they're opening the door to let everybody in. So everybody's got a job to do to make everything work. Because someone's uncle caught a cold, look, he's in bed feeling very poorly. How can you tell he's feeling poorly? If you have a look at the picture, how can you tell that he's feeling unwell? What does the picture show you that lets you know that, I don't think that he's feeling very well today? Someone's aunt had an extra ticket for someone special. So because the uncle was unwell, he was lying in bed, it meant he couldn't go. So what did he do? He gave it to the auntie so she could give it to a friend. So someone else got to go, someone who wasn't meant to go in the first place. That's an opportunity. We call that an opportunity. Because the usher helped the aunt and her special guest, they found their seats. I want you to have a look at the picture. Who do you think the special guest is? Who's the special guest? So because the usher helped the aunt and her special guest, they found their seats. Can you see the auntie? What's she doing? She's holding somebody's hand, isn't she? That's our special guest, that little person that's holding the aunt's hand. Because everyone was there to hear beautiful music, it was quiet. You know, we always say every performance begins with silence. Because when people are performing, it's really respectful and it's really nice and kind, isn't it, to be quiet before so you can really listen and show them that you're listening. Because it's quite scary when you have to perform, and you'll know it better than I do because you guys perform all the time, don't you? And then look at the orchestra. Can you see all of those different people, all with different jobs, all with different instruments, all working together to create beautiful music? That's teamwork, isn't it? That's collaboration. That's one of our values. Oh, wow, look at this. And I love this picture. You see all the bright colours. When I look at that, I think that those bright colours represent the beautiful sounds. But you might think something different. What does that mean to you when you have a look at those beautiful bright colours? Now, in row C, seat 14, sat the girl with the uncle's ticket. Can you see her? She heard the beautiful music written by the man named Franz, and it changed her. I want you to have a think. How do you think it might have changed her? How did listening to that beautiful music change this little girl? If you're with your families right now, I want you to pause and I want you to discuss how you think it might have changed her. That's predict. That's like making a guess. How do I think this might have changed her? Let's see. The girl was changed. Can you see her? Look at her. What's coming out of her? All these beautiful notes. Music. From that moment on, the girl learned everything she could about music because it fed her. What do we mean by that? It's like she's hungry for it, isn't it? Soon she started to write music too. Because, like Franz, the young woman had something to share. So she went to this one concert just by chance. It was an opportunity. And something beautiful happened, didn't it? Something changed her. And she was like, you know what? I want to learn. I want to learn how to become a musician. I want to learn how to write my own music and make my own tunes so I can share them. So over time, the woman became very good because she worked very hard. One night, her music was discovered because she was also very lucky. I think that's a really good point, because sometimes luck plays a part in success too. Yes, you can work really hard, but sometimes there's a lovely little thing called luck. Let's see why she was lucky. I wonder why she was lucky. She was invited to perform her music at the Grand Concert Hall because so many people wanted to hear it. So she went back to the place where she first heard the music when she became a grown-up and managed to perform in front of lots of people and share her beautiful music. Her composition was dedicated to the uncle in row C, seat 14. Isn't that lovely? So the music that she wrote was played by the orchestra and shared with all those beautiful people. So she was something called a conductor. And lots of you might have seen Mr. Deliver, our director of music. He does this when we have our performances and our winter recitals and our orchestras play. And he conducts the notes, and all of the instrumentalists, they watch and they read the signs that the conductors do. But she actually composed the music, which is what she wrote the music. And when you get to year 6, you write your own music. Mr. Pinnacle will be teaching you to do that. And also he does begin that with you in year 5. So isn't that beautiful? And who was there? That special person who got really sick at that time? The uncle. Because it was his ticket that brought her here. You see? And that night, someone else was changed. That is how it happens. So, I want you to have a think about that. All of those becauses led up to that beautiful event of that young woman becoming inspired and becoming a composer and a conductor and writing beautiful music to be shared for lots of people. And that's just because she happened to go to this concert when she was very small. It's really nice, and I think I'd just like you to have a little think about that and think about all the opportunities we have as people and what could inspire us to actually become really good at something and to become, I don't know, dedicated to something, really, dedicated to trying our best at something. And I know we've got lots of musicians, but it doesn't who actually do this already. We've got children who practice so much and they're amazing, but it doesn't just have to be about being a musician. It can be about anything. It can be about being an artist. It can be to do with your sport. It can be to do with your learning. It can be just about being the best person. But it's a really lovely story. I really love that and I wanted to share it with you. Now, before I go, I also want to share with you weekly our P4C Weekly Wonder. Now, Mr. Fitzsimmons, our P4C lead, is going to be putting on our website every week a P4C activity. So that's a philosophy for children. Now, all of the children, you know that's what it means, just in case some of your grown-ups might not know what P4C means. And this week is the focus is called Changes, and it's just some questions and some things for you to think about. Changes. Will things have changed when things get back to normal? So things aren't the same anymore, are they, for us at the moment? And we're not in school every day like we were before we broke up. Just having a think, will things have changed when things do get back to normal? Because they will one day. When normal life returns, will things be like they were, or will they be different? And if they will be different, what do you think will be different? And what do you think will stay the same? What would you change if you were in charge? It's a good one. Lots of people like to answer that. They would change the whole world. And what would you keep the same? So I want you to have a think about these, and on the bottom it says you could watch this, and there's a little link for a video. Now this is uploaded onto our website, so you can go on with your families when you want to and have a little look at the video, and your teachers are going to be talking to you about this week, so we're going to be uploading these every week. So have a little think, have a discussion with your families, and I shall see you next week. Take care. I am popping into some of your Zooms to say hello.